Yeah, sorry about that. But no, I was just saying, it's definitely living history, and I want to be the one to actually educate them on that. The reality of it is, in schools, what they learn about in terms of September 11th from a school standpoint, as I understand it, it's not all that informative. It's at times not all that accurate.
Pretty vague,
Um,
I imagine.
Pretty vague. Yeah, exactly. And, a lot of times, living in a media driven society, I think it's delivered that way in schools. They refer to them as the attacks in New York and Washington. And not to take away from anybody involved in either of those sites, of course, I got nothing but love for them. But the reality is, we had 40 people on a plane that crashed in Pennsylvania and they saved an untold amount of lives at the Capitol. And that
Right.
story needs to be
Possibly
told
the
just like
entire
the
Congress as
rest.
well.
Yeah, exactly. It's like you turn on the news, the Capitol building is standing there because of them. Like when they induct the president of the United States, into office, they're standing on the steps of the Capitol in front of hundreds of thousands of people. And that building is standing there, and they're allowed to do that because of DR and everybody on 93. That building would not be there otherwise. So,
You're
um,
absolutely right.
people need to be aware of that. People need to understand that and appreciate it. And it's not just like younger generations, it's current generations, obviously future generations. 75 million people, plus actually probably more than 75 million, obviously at this point, have been born after 9/11, so they have no living memory of what happened.
No frame of
you know
reference of what things were like pre 9/11 to living in the post 9/11 world.
exactly, yes, exactly. Like not being able to like walk right up to the gate with your loved one, and as they walk onto the plane, like that's obviously not something you can do anymore. Um, Airport security, all these things, it's definitely we're definitely living in a different world since
Of course,
then.
the Patriot Act, the formation of Homeland Security, the reorganization of all the various agencies, which now fall under Homeland Security, and like everything else. So
Yeah,
times are definitely different.
times are definitely different, and again, especially because having a personal tie to that story, I want to make sure that the girls are told that story in a way that is safe and they will understand and appreciate it, and as they get older, when we come home every year, I'm going to start taking them to Shanksville. I want them to, start being exposed to the park and just kind of seeing the elements. Annabelle's a very visual learner right now, and she definitely picks up a lot of language. Um, but probably, yeah, starting the next couple of years, I'm gonna start taking her up there and just kind of sharing the story with her. It's very important to me when the time comes for me to share that story the right way with her. So, and Ainsley too. As she gets older.
Right.
Um, Dior is like she was a friend, and even though I haven't seen her obviously in over 20 plus years, um, her and everybody on that flight, man, they changed. Uh, they were the first victory in the war on terrorism. You know,
Yeah,
they
that's
fought
true.
back
Yeah, you're absolutely
successfully.
right. Yep.
It was a completely unprecedented event. Um, you know, uh, and they acted, and we all believe that their end goal was to get home to their families that day. But they were not going to let them win. They were not going to let the terrorists win, and they saw to that. And it obviously, unfortunately, they had to sacrifice their lives, but you know, a plane has not been successfully hijacked since then. You know,
This is
people
true.
have
This is very
tried.
true.
People had tried after 9/11. As far as even like 2009, some guy tried to blow up a plane coming into Detroit, and the passengers acted, and they beat his ass and restrained him, whatever,
Right.
and that didn't happen. Just like the guy that tried to blow up the plane from, I think, Paris to Miami in December of 2001. The passengers reacted, and they they got on him and restrained him.
Well,
People are going to
even
act
with
now.
passengers acting unruly right now, you see a lot more concerted effort by everyone else. Be like, we don't know if this person's crazy or a terrorist, but we're not going to find out. We're going to
Right.
restrain this
It's
guy
yeah.
or person, and then once we get on the ground, they can figure out what to do with him or her.
Right. Yeah. It's a people think, I think, very proactively now. And I think they have been, they have over the last 21 years, since everything happened. And, I'm just, as much as, I give anything to have them all back, they gave their lives, so we could, in a way go on living like it was September 10th, 2000, you know? Um, and, that's why it's like, to me, I knew from the beginning I would never truly be able to pay her back for what she did for our country, and for,
But you honor her memory. You also honor the memory of all those who did their part in
right.
saving so many others. And so I totally
Because,
respect that.
yeah, I appreciate it. I mean, I knew in my heart from the get go, like, whatever it is I decide to do to try and show my appreciation, I know it would truly never make up for what they did. But, it's like, when I reconnected with her at the crash site, like in 2006, it was just kind of like, both love music. I know a ton of people in the music scene. You know, uh, let's do benefit shows and preserve her memory. In a positive way. And
And you've been doing it ever since, and you've been doing an
and
amazing job of doing it ever
thank
since.
you,
So, you keep doing what you're doing.
thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, I wouldn't have it any other way. And brick by brick, and the metal scene here in San Diego has just been so supportive over the years. Bands are like eager to jump on the show, and I mean, it's a benefit show. They know they're not getting paid. And they don't have to do it. But they do it because they want to do it. So
Right.
it's like, I was on a podcast with my friend recently, with one of the guys from Godhammer, Kevin. It's just like a big teddy bear, such a sweet guy. And I was explaining to all of them, like, that's what I love about the music scene in San Diego, is when it comes to shows that I do, they want to do the shows. You know what I mean? And so it's not the fact that they're just amazing bands, but it really speaks to them as people. You know what I mean? Like, they truly care about the cause. I mean, here we are going, we're just over 2 decades now. You know what I mean? Two
Right.
decades. And they're still like all 100% on board to do it. You know what I mean? And it's always just a good time. And but everybody knows why they're there. That's the thing. There's a reason for it. And the last couple of years, it's been to raise money for firefighter. And so everybody is very very loving and supportive of the firefighter community in San Diego when they come to our shows. So we're very
All
grateful.
right, cool, man. That's good
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah. Very
Well,
excited.
I look forward to getting the whatever photos and videos that you can get for me for this particular show, and we can circle back around in about a week or two and
Yeah.
recap how everything went. That sound good?
Absolutely. Yeah, that sounds
All
like a
right.
plan, man. Definitely,
Okay.
definitely. Okay, sounds good. Well, yeah, yeah, a lot of three major events coming up in the next week, so I'll definitely have a lot to report. When we
All right.
circle back around. So
Cool, man. Well, best of luck to you, man. You have a great weekend. Thanks for coming back on the show again.
absolutely, absolutely, and I'll see you in December, of course, man. We'll make our
Yeah,
trip
man.
again.
Sure will.
All right, brother. You have a good
I'll see you
weekend, man.
then.
I'll talk to you soon,
Okay.
brother. All right,
All
thanks,
right.
guys.